Hey, what's poppin', dumpster divers? It's your boy Raccoon the Legend, and if you guys didn't notice, I am starting a new series, and I kind of just want to reach out for you guys. A lot of people have their own stuff, like a lot of people have meme review and stuff, and I just want to make my own thing to reach out to you guys. And this series is kind of focused on all the craziest stories I've kind of been through my life, and I think it's pretty funny. Basically, it's just me telling different stories of just my life. I'm 18 right now. I'm almost 19. I turned 19 on the 28th, and I got a lot of stories to tell. But the first story I want to talk about, which is a pretty funny one, is just something that happened on the job site for me having a summer job when I was still in school. So, as a funny startup to this story, I'm gonna hide the people's names besides myself. If you guys don't know, my name's Nick, and I just want to keep their privacy, their name and stuff like discreet, because I don't want to say their name or whatever. So, anyways, the story starts as on my summer job. I worked for a thing called Seeds. It was a nonprofit organization where we'd go and help people out. Like, for example, we'd go and do landscaping for some people, or if somebody needed help building something, we'd go over there and build it for them. We do stuff like that. We helped out the community. And at this part of the time, it was beating hot in the sun, and we went down to one of our local beaches. If you guys don't know, there is a plant called baby's breath. I don't know if you guys know about it, but where I live, it's an invasive species. It's usually used for like weddings and like baby showers. It's kind of like ceremonial, kind of like that. And it's like a huge bush, and it grows into the dirt and stuff. It's not where we were. It would grow into the sand. But the reason why it was invasive at that beach is because we have native plants where I live, and they need loose soil. What baby's breath does is it strengthens the soil, so the native plants can't live there. So we were tasked to go out there with special like shovels and stuff and take care of them. So without like all the introduction, here's where it mainly starts. So the group and I, myself, and a few others, we were tasked to go down there with some other groups because it was a long beach. It's like miles long. And when we were going down there, we had to dig the shovels inches down into the sand and completely cut the roots. And when we were doing this, we have all my stories are based around this individual. And this individual, I'm going to name him Rob. I'm going to name him Rob, all right? So this person named Rob, he is very weird. And when we were doing this, he's very skinny. He doesn't have a lot of strength. He looks like he's anorexic, but he's not. He's just very skinny, and all he eats is crackers and cheese and spaghetti. Those are his favorite meals, and he only eats those, he says. And I know it's pretty ridiculous, right? And when we were going down the beach, he couldn't break the roots. He couldn't. He was so weak. I could literally snap in half with just my hands without the shovel if I pulled it out of the ground, and he couldn't. So we were going down a bit down the beach, and we were going for a while. It's probably been like a mile, and we've been watching him the whole time. And the whole time, he has not like destroyed the plant, which I mean he does not like cut the root at a certain amount of inches down below the sand. He has not done that once, and he's probably done it to like 20 plants. So he's like cut off the top, but not like all of it to where it can still grow back. When you cut the root at that point, it doesn't grow back. That's what we were supposed to do. And I go up to him. I go up to Rob, and I'm like, dude, we're tasked to do this. There's people here looking at us. We need to look like we're presentable. We need to set like an example for these people. We need to, be good at the job that we're tasked to do. And he's like, okay. I'm not even kidding. That's the only way he talks. He said that. Not like it's completely monotone. He did that, and everybody always laughs when he does that. That's his normal way of speech, and there's nothing wrong with him. He gets like almost the highest point on the freaking SAT. He is a smart person. All AP classes, but I don't know why he talks like that. But anyways, we're going down more. He still does it. And I go up to him again, and everybody's like following me because they're wondering what he's gonna do now because he's like really weird. And I start talking to him. He's like, "I know, Nick," and he started like screaming at me and flailing his hands in the air, and it was like really weird. And I just left him alone after that. I'm like, dude, there's something wrong with him today. I'm not dealing with this. And we were going down the beach even more. And I guess a side story on top of this, because I wouldn't really make a main story on it. When we were going down, probably 70% of the beach, this guy that we were with, he was volunteering, and we were like, oh my god, we were way ahead of them. Let's say they were at no, not like that, maybe 40% of the way through. We were at like 70% of the way through. He took out his phone, started flashing it, and he was like waving in the air to come over back to them. And they just stood there. They didn't even walk towards us. They just stood there. So our group went all the way back there, went to the guy, and we said, yo, what's up? Do you need something? He's like, you're in our way. Can you move to the side? That's all he said. Everybody was so ticked. This guy was like trying to be like the dictator of everything, and he was just some random volunteer dude. I don't know who he was, but I just wanted to mention that real quick. But anyways, back to the Rob story. When we were going down the beach, we, my friend, I'm going to mention my friend Caden because I mention him a lot. So my friend Caden, my friend Andrew, because I know you guys won't even know where he is. He's a while from here. My friend Andrew, my friend Caden, myself, and Alex. I've mentioned all those guys before on this channel, so I feel comfortable saying them. We were going up the mountain because on the beach there was like a huge hill. Not a mountain, it was like a huge hill. We were going up there taking pictures, and Rob was down below doing random stuff. We didn't know what he was doing. We were going up there taking pictures because we were taking a little break, you know, having a water break. We were just traveling around the hill and stuff, and we come all the way back down. We go back through the beach. We go all the way to the end. And it's a hustle trying to get to the end. Because we have to pick up all the bushes because we're not just going to leave them there. And Rob doesn't do like anything. He kind of just stares at everybody. Just imagine this. You guys are on your job. You're picking up bushes everywhere of different things. And you just see somebody behind you kind of like slouchy. And they're just like staring at you. And it's just like really uncomfortable. And you don't know what they're doing, and you don't want to say anything because there's a bunch of people there. Just imagine that you going through that for like another mile. And then you get to the very end and you throw everything away because people are going to take care of that later. And you see somebody put something in their pocket. So you're like trying to throw everything away, and you see Rob put something in his pocket. Everybody's wondering what he did because I started telling them that. You're like, really? And they're like, yeah. And his pants already bulge out a bit and they're kind of down because he has this weird water bottle on the side of his like on the side of his pants, and it clinks every time he moves around with it. And it's like, it's weird because it weighs down his pants so much that it starts to droop his pants, kind of like a gangster in the ghetto where they have their pants under their knees. It drooped it down like that. Not to that degree, but it was just weird. And he had something else in his pants that you could see poking out when it was drooped down, kind of the side. And we were all talking about what that was. So on the way back, we're all chatting or whatever. We're all guessing what the heck is in his pants. What did he get? Well, we're talking to Adam. Adam was my supervisor, one of the coolest guys I've ever met. Imagine you going to a job and your manager, or sorry, he wasn't really my manager. He was my supervisor. Imagine your supervisor being a professional gamer. I mean, it's pretty cool. But anyways, we were talking to Adam, and we're talking about what was in his pants. And by the way, at the end of the year, he thinks of him as a serial killer because of all the things he's done. So I got more stories about that. But once we got to the parking lot, Rob took it out of his pants. And it was something that I just didn't think anyone would have. So he pulls out this long thing out of his pants. It's a Gatorade bottle that doesn't have the wrapping on it anymore. And we're asking him why he has it in his pants, and it has some weird liquid in it. And we're asking, oh my god, I almost just said his name. We're asking Rob about it, and he's like, oh, it's a memento for this job. He said it kind of like that. I don't remember everything he said, but I remember something like that. And we're asking why he's keeping it as a memento. He opened it and kind of showed us with it. It was a freaking Gatorade bottle full of someone else's urine, barely poking out of the beach, and he's keeping it, he's taking it home for his memento. And all of us were kind of weirded out. We didn't know what he was doing. So we kind of just left him alone, and we were talking to Adam about it. Like, I don't think you should take something like that home. And Adam convinced him to dump it out and just throw the Gatorade bottle away. But after that day, we were all in the parking lot eating lunch because we wanted to get it done as fast as we could before a certain time. So we actually got all of it. This was like the last day. So we didn't have that much stuff to do. So we were sitting in the parking lot having lunch. And like I said before, he only eats spaghetti and crackers and cheese. Whenever I seen him at lunch at my school, he never ate lunch. All he ate was crackers and cheese and water and that Gatorade, or sorry, that water bottle he had. I know it's freaking weird, man. I know he's freaking weird. And like, he was eating it, and we're telling Adam, like, dude, why does he eat this? It's so weird. And Adam's like a nutritionist, so he knows a lot of stuff. And he went up to him, and he's like, Rob, if you keep eating like stuff like this, you're not getting your nutrition. You're not getting none of this. You're not getting any vitamins from crackers and cheese. It's all just like carbs. So if you keep eating like this, then in your 20s, you're going to be freaking messed up. Like, you're not going to be able to function correctly. And I will remember this for the rest of my life. The man, the myth, the legend that has scored really high in the SAT said this. He was like, baby calves, all they do is drink milk and they get big. Why can't I eat crackers and cheese? And oh my god, everybody flipped out, dude. Everybody flipped out. And he got so mad at him for saying that. And he was like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, that's completely different. Like, him saying that a baby calf can grow up off milk. Why can't he grow up off crackers and cheese? That was ridiculous. But I forgot to mention one thing earlier before I end this video. Is, when we were going out, before we were going out, oh my god, I gotta keep myself together on this one. Before we went out, we put on sunscreen. And Rob, we're telling him to put on sunscreen. And we're on the beach, so there's like no mosquitoes anywhere because it's all open. So we just put on sunscreen. And we tell him to put on sunscreen. And we hand on the bottle, then we go away and we start chatting. Andrew, Alex, Kay, and I. And then we hear footsteps behind us. And I'll mention this. Well, no, I'll mention it now. He skips. He doesn't even walk. He doesn't run. He skips. He does that. It's really weird, but he only skips. You can literally hear him coming up to you because you can. His pants are like flooded to where you can like they're ripped on the bottom because they're always dragging on the ground. And he skips, and you can hear it slide across the like asphalt. So we're looking behind us to see what it is, and all you see is one streak. It's like he put sunscreen on his finger and just put one line on his cheek. And then we're like, dude, Rob, you need to rub it in. That's not how you use sunscreen. And he's like, I did rub it in. And we're like, no, you didn't. We can clearly see that you didn't. And he goes away, does something else. I don't know what he does. He comes back. And if you guys see those chicks at pools, they have the cucumber on their eyes and like white around their face and stuff. I don't know what that's called, but that like mask of like white and cucumbers. He didn't even rub it in. It's like he just took it and splashed it on his face. Like if you see people that get faced by like whipped cream pies and their whole face is white, that's like him in sunscreen. He just didn't even rub it in. And he was talking to the freaking people that asked us to do the job like that. Can you imagine how embarrassing that is? Seriously. Like, just imagine that. Like, somebody that looks like it without, like, the freaking red around his face. Just white. That's what he looked like, but it was, like, lotion and it wasn't rubbed in. Like, oh my god. But, anyways, guys, that's my story time. I appreciate you guys if you guys were tuning in. And if you guys couldn't tell, this video of me doing gameplay, it's on Dragon Blocks Ultimate. And if anybody of you guys know Dragon Blocks Ultimate, if you guys are in my Discord, y'all need to check that out. I'll put the link in the description. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.